Hello, friends. I'm Spire Meteorologist James Van Fleet. Today, we are going to update the winter storm in the making coming from Texas and northern Mexico, headed for the mid Atlantic. But first, we got to address the Southern California fires. As we posted a couple days ago, the heads up from the LA Weather Service about these life threatening winds and the situations they'll create. Wind gusts have been right at the 99, 100 mile per hour mark in a couple of the areas up in the mountains. At elevation and sea level, we've been seeing 50 to 80 mile per hour winds. Or just in the last half hour, there was an 81 mile per hour wind east of LA. You can see we've got gusts 69 miles per hour south of Palmdale, 79 still. So we're around 80 degrees or around 80 miles per hour in Santa Clarita. And on top of it, our satellites have a good picture of the fires. In fact, as we take a look, our satellites are using the data sensing, and we can identify those three fires with the winds, again, primarily north to south. So all of this up on the doorstep of Santa Monica has the possibility to move down farther south, even including LAX. And I'm sure you can imagine what that would be like, trying to deal with a wildfire right around the perimeter of LAX. So a lot more to keep an eye on. Why did this happen? Let's show you. Three weather systems are causing this. There's a low pressure right here in northern Mexico. The winds around low pressure are counterclockwise. It's easier to see with this massive low pressure and storm in the Pacific. This is system one. This is system two. And the third are these two high pressures in between. Due to the intense size of this low pressure, this Pacific storm that we're seeing, that is pushing this high east. So the clockwise winds around a high pressure are now north to south, but then it's backed up to a low pressure that is counterclockwise, and it's also north to south. So you've got a convergence of two weather systems, and that's why we're seeing the winds so incredibly high within this. And then again, just to show you the heads up of timing of two more times where we've got to be ready for potential evacuations. This will be coming Friday and Sunday. So we will finally see a break. And let's get down a little closer in our high resolution model. Finally getting a break on some of these high winds late in the day on Thursday for central and northern California, but it's not much of a break for LA. And in fact, then the winds flex again, which you can see these are winds coming down the mountain range, the Santa Ana winds pushing off into the Pacific, all the way down to San Diego and Ensenada in Mexico and the Baja California Peninsula. But there, Friday, as we're into the pre-dawn hours, we could see high wind gusts returning to 60 mile per hour, 70 mile per hour winds. And then after a little bit of a break late Friday and Saturday, Sunday, it cranks right back up. And you can see this again covers the same area from LA all the way to the tip of Baja California, which would be Cabo San Lucas. But this entire area will also have a high fire threat. But so does Northern California too, between central Northern California down through Sacramento and San Francisco. So incredible winds due to two systems coming together with a third system pushing one of those. And that is what's causing all of our problems for Southern California. Now I want to switch over to our winter storm. There it is right here. Very unusual, right, to see our low pressure. Now, there are pieces of energy that are merging with this. We've got energy coming from that low pressure in North Mexico. So from the west, this low joins this one. And then we've got big high pressure slamming the northern and central United States. So the convergence of all three is what will just rapidly intensify this system. Right there, you can see. And our snow line is still including Dallas, Fort Worth metro area. And this would be early afternoon on Thursday, continuing through the rest of the evening. There are moments in our high resolution model where rain looks to overtake the snow. So it could be a very wild ride on this line of North Texas, Arklatex, and these regions, because we could start off with the cold air giving us snow and then some warmer, more humid air from the Gulf can overtake that, change everything over to rain, and then at the very tail end of it, with the coldest air, potentially return back to snowfall. So rainfall that's left on the ground, anything sitting puddles on the roads would turn to ice and then covered by snow. And that's about the worst thing you could have, because the snow would cover the ice, you wouldn't see it, and could lead to very dangerous situations. Now, this will continue to be a large winter storm moving into Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, Tennessee, believe it or not, Alabama and Mississippi too. We're talking snowfall in portions of Alabama and Mississippi. Very rare to hear that. And then it's coming for the mid-Atlantic. We will see the winds pulling up the moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. That will keep this mainly heavy rain and a flooding threat. But the changeover, the freezing line, is between Raleigh and Wilmington and Charlotte. In this triangle, that's where you have the snow rain mix. And just like we see in Texas, there are moments where the warm air comes back, melts the snow to a rainfall, and then we end with snowfall moving the last little bit out. So we need to be very, very careful that with the cold air coming behind the rainfall, for those who aren't getting frozen precipitation, that we could look at potentially black ice and ice being extremely problematic in the mid-Atlantic states and in the Northeast. As you can see, all of the Delmarva Peninsula, Richmond, Washington, Baltimore, up to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, all getting in on some heavy snows. And New York will catch some of this as well. For all of our clients and businesses operating in these parts of the world, this is the timing that we're looking at. So it'd be about 8 o'clock in the morning that we are looking at some of the heavier snows coming down in the New York City metro, Philly, Baltimore, Washington, and then moving out late day Saturday, finally being done with that system. So that catches you up both on the fires in LA and what caused that, as well as this new winter storm in the making. I will see you tomorrow with a fresh edition from Spire Weather and Climate. And until then, hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.